So g'day and welcome back to Gumardi's Coins and Banknotes, and we're continuing on with the coins of Colombia. So we are going to examine the coins that were in circulation in the 1970s to for some denominations to 1989 when they actually issued a reform because of inflation and reduced the size of the coins. But this is a bit of a more interesting series because it celebrates a lot of the independence members who helped Colombia gain independence. Okay, so here we have the coins. They're the two middle lines. Up the top we have the centavo coins and also the 5 pesos, which were in circulation in the 70s. Now they got rid of the 2 centavos in 1965, so that might have been in circulation, but it's a bit hard to actually get information about the circulating coins in the 1970s, except for just basic information about the coins, the dates and the mintages themselves. Okay, but with only 2 million of this one, it's safe to say that really wasn't in widespread circulation. And then we get rid of these centavos. These were pretty much last minted in 1979. So then we have these coins. Now I could include these two, the 25 and 50 centavos, as 1970s coins, but I just wanted to include them here. Okay, now they did have a 20 centavos and a 25, which they issued in 1979. And the 50 centavos and 1 peso was last minted in 1980. Now, as for the first mintage, okay, this is a single year issue, aluminium bronze, 1979. The 50 centavos was minted from 1979 and 80, the smaller version, because previously they had, where is the actual coin? Previously the 50 centavos was a bigger coin, pretty much the size of the United States $half. Then we have the 1 peso minted from 1974 to 1980, but because the mintage was quite high, it could most likely circulate up into the late 80s. The 2 pesos minted from 1977 to 87. The 5 pesos, okay, so I'm stretching my knowledge here, minted from 1980 to 88. And then the 10 pesos minted from 1981 to 89. The 20 pesos minted from 1982 to 89. 50 pesos first minted in 1986-89. So you see there's a grade, and that's because inflation had reduced, well, we could call this hyperinflation, reduced the value of the peso. Currently in Colombia, the smallest denomination even in circulation is 50 pesos. And later, they actually issued smaller coins in 1989 to replace these ones. So, and 1989, the smallest denomination they issued was a 5 peso. So obviously all these have been withdrawn because of inflation. Okay, the 25 to 5 pesos had people who had a hand in Colombia's independence. Then we have on the 10 pesos a monument to Jose Maria Cordoba, also for independence. On the 20 pesos we have a Popoyo Quimbaya, so it actually says it on there, and it's just a jug that holds lime. So I'm not too familiar with this. Chimcha Musca Quimbaya cultures. So, and it seems to be made of metal, of brass, most likely, which is very interesting. So you can look that up if you want. And on the 50 pesos we have, so this celebrates the 100th anniversary of National Constitution, so that's 1886. the 50th anniversary of constitutional reform, so that's 1936. So it celebrates two things. And this one has the Capitol Nacional, so the capital in Bogota, which is the national capital of Colombia, the narcotics civilization. Okay, so the 25 centavos has a portrait of Simon Bolivar, so it's one of the fathers of Colombian independence, and it's aluminium bronze, 4.5 grams, 23.25 millimeters, with a mintage of about 89 million. So this is a fairly common coin. It shouldn't be hard to get uncirculated, and if I was buying this, I probably paid less than $2 for this coin. Seems to be a fairly common coin. Okay, then we have the 50 centavos, and as you can see, it's 12-sided, like the Australian 50 cent coin, and it has a portrait of Francisco de Paula Santander. So I butchered his name. So these two guys were the main drivers of independence, although, as we know, independence movements are more than just one or two people. You need quite a lot of people in these, pretty much two of the main drivers. And this one's dated 1971, mintage of 32,650,000. The lowest minted coin you can get for this is 1975 for 4,325,000. So not really a scarce coin to get. So all you'll be looking for is errors in this coin. It's nickel clad steel, so it's 90% silver, 10% nickel. And the way you can tell the nickel is you turn it on its side, and you can see that this one is starting to corrode. So when it goes black, you know it's starting to corrode, and that's the steel, because the steel is pretty much just iron. Okay, the 1 and 2 pesos, they both have the same portrait of Simon Bolivar, but as you can see, the 2 pesos is smaller, and they're both pretty much copper and nickel coins, with the 1976 having a mintage of 98 million, so nearly 100 million for this 1 peso. And the lowest minted coin is 1978 with 48,600,000. So that's a common coin. Now the 2 pesos, we have basically, it's just copper and nickel, 92% copper. That's why it's a pretty dark brown, or getting dark brown. But this one, because it only has 65% copper and it has 15% nickel, it makes it a lot more silverish. Now the zinc doesn't seem to play that much of a role, with only 20% in the color determination. Okay, so first mintage of this coin was 1977, so this one was 76.6 million. The lowest minted coin is 1987, 30 million, so really shouldn't be too hard for you to get. And if we look on the side, this one's reeded, and this one has inscription on the side, Casa de Monita, blah 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 blah. You can find the information, and these are all minted in Bogota, which is the capital of Colombia. Now the next coin we have, this one has a female on it, and her name is Policarpa, and her hands are bound, and she's facing her execution. So she was shot for treason by the Spanish officials. So, and the story is that they were leading her to execution. They usually shoot him in the back for being traitors, but she turned around to face the executioners, which is a brave thing to do. So this coin first minted in 1980, so this one's dated 1980. Has a mintage 146 million for this coin. The lowest mint is 81 with 9 million, so pretty a common coin you're going to get. I've had quite a few of them. This one's interrupted milling, although this milling's actually quite poor. So on the back of the coin, we just have industrial building of Barrancabermeja refinery. Okay, so it's probably just a refinery. Looks like a cracking facility actually. Yeah, refinery. So this is where they process oils. And this coin you can pick up for about $1 or so. Okay, the next one we have is the 10 pesos. So this is the more interesting coins. The ones that replace these are quite boring. And this is the monument of Jose Cordoba. It's another independence fighter from Spanish rule. And on the other side we have the map of San Andreas and Providencia Island. Okay, so that's just a topographic map it looks like. And it has the information up the top. 10 pesos this one, and it also has coordinates. So this one's dated 1981. Has a mintage of 104 million. So this one should be fairly easy to get in high grade. The lowest mintage is 1988, 50 million. 1989, we're not too sure on the mintages, but it seems that that one is a bit... It's easy to get, but it's just the lowest minted. So this one, the 20 pesos, has the Museo del Oro, Museum of Gold, and it has the name Poporoyo, whatever. Okay, so that is more of an interesting arc if you're into archaeology, and it's also has no reading or anything on the side, or if you're interested in indigenous cultures of South America. Okay, the last coin is 50 pesos. So he has the national capital, Bogota. It has the information down below, stars, so probably representing all the provinces of Colombia. Information. This one is lettered on the side. So Libertad y Orden. Yeah, I don't speak Spanish. Okay, this one has the coat of arms of Colombia at the top. 50 pesos. And 1989 is the last year of issue for this coin. Same year they also issued the smaller coin. 80 million, so pretty common. 1986 is the lowest mint, 14.5 million. Then say the 20 pesos. The 20 pesos is 1988 at 72 million. The lowest mintage is 1982 with 18.3 million. So none of these are actually scarce coins. They should all be easy for you to actually pick up. Now if you wanted to get a whole set of these, I usually see these for sale for just a few dollars each, with the probably the 50 pesos being the most expensive. But for me, if I was to buy these, no, I wouldn't pay any more than $20 for the whole lot. Anyway, I preferred it if it had a lot more other coins. So the earlier coins that we've got here are actually quite boring themselves, so they don't really track the premium. With the high mintage of these ones, these ones won't get a premium as well. So if you see one for $500, you know that seller either is trying to rip you off or they have no idea about coin collecting. Anyway, hope this helps you with your coins and banknotes. Let me know what you think of these coins and which one is your favorite. Now for me, I've always liked the 2 pesos. I don't know why. I just find it pretty interesting. It's thick and it has 2 on it. Yay! But as for design, probably the 10 pesos is the best. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and take care.